Hello friends, this is my daily Satori vlog day 2 and I'm on the way to the beach right now to meet a couple of friends to go surfing. So I thought it would be a good time to talk about surfing and how it affects the individual, how it helps the individual, how it has changed some people's lives, mine and several of my friends in particular. So first, I guess I wanted to address why people start surfing to begin with. I'm sure some people take it up because their friends do it, because it's fun, and I think that's why most people do it, because it's fun. But some people do it for maybe a much deeper reason. I think a lot of people do it because it's therapeutic. It actually provides some sort of healing in their lives. So I wanted to start by discussing why people need healing in the first place, and why surfing is effective in doing that for them and providing them a form of therapy. So what is the issue? Why do people need escape? Why do people need therapy? Why do people need something to make them feel better? Obviously that's a very deep question, and I want to touch on that a little bit. I personally believe that in the process of our society advancing and in the process of us developing our technology and our conveniences, we become more and more detached from the natural world. I think that's fairly obvious. I'm sitting in a car right now. Very advanced technology, comparatively speaking, to when we just walked with our own 2 feet, and even physically that already detaches me from the natural world. But I think an even bigger impact is when we detach ourselves so much through our cities and our environments and our societies that we hardly see any greenery whatsoever. I remember working at my old job close to downtown Los Angeles, and literally the only green thing where I worked was a small plant outside the office building. And I tell this story sometimes to my friends. I found myself taking a photo of the small plant because it was the only green thing I could appreciate. And now you'll see my Instagram and you'll see how ridiculously green everything is, because it's what appeals to me. It's what I find beautiful, and it's what calms me. So when you compare my Instagram right now to where everything is green, to that one photo where the only green thing I could find in my life was this tiny plant outside my concrete office building, I mean, that's a very, very big rift, and I think that's very indicative of the detachment that most of us feel in our lives right now, at least most of us that live in a huge metropolis like LA. So I think that's where the rift comes in. I think that's definitely part of it. There's obviously lots of other issues that people have that are that result from our upbringing and our development, that also create a lot of pain in our lives. But I think just a simple detachment from the natural environment is a big one. And I think that filling that void with just being in the natural environment, I think naturally starts to heal a lot of our issues, including the issues that each of us may have had during our developmental process, whether it be with our parents or our society, environment, whatever. So anyway, I think that's where the big void comes in. I think the sad part is a lot of us don't even realize it. I certainly had no idea that I was missing that aspect in my life. I really just had no clue. I had always grown up in a big city. I mean, at least ever since I was 7 years old when I came here to the United States from the Philippines. I'd always lived in Los Angeles. So the big city had always been my environment. I didn't really know much else. So when I felt a void in my life, I had no clue what it was. All I knew was that there was a big void, something was missing, and I didn't know what it was that I needed to fill it. And I think that's when a lot of us really tend to lean towards consumerism, and we just start buying shit because we think that'll add to who we are as a person and make us better. But sadly, that never really works for long. So by chance, I fell into, or maybe not by chance, maybe by just instinct, I found myself gravitating back towards being outdoors and the natural environment. I think actually a lot of it had to do with when I was in high school, when we had a program that brought us to Yosemite, and I just felt this really incredible sense of not only just peace, just everything, just a sense of good feelings, bliss, good vibes. It just felt absolutely amazing. And it was not something I could have predicted. We were in the woods, and suddenly, wow, like everything just feels right. And as I got older, I think I started to gravitate to that again when I started becoming quite disillusioned with my life. So I think, as I said, I think that's a big part of the problem, just us being very detached from our natural world. And surfing provides that kind of relief and that kind of fulfillment. Thankfully for us that live close by to the coast, like here in LA, although we live in a giant metropolis, we are able to take a drive and go back to the coast and feel connected once again. And I think that fills that void. I think it heals us. It makes us feel reconnected once again with nature. And surfing also has that added benefit too of really just clearing your head. You become so focused on the task at hand because you have to. When you surf, you're gonna eat shit if you don't pay attention. So when you're out there, your mind tends to go completely blank, and all you can do is just be present. And I think that's also a huge healing factor for us because our minds tend to run away with themselves. So if you are into or have heard of transcendental meditation, that's exactly what meditation does. It just clears the head and gets us back to the most basic thing, which is just our breathing and just our being. And when we're surfing, it's a lot easier to do that. It's just a lot easier to sit on your board and just breathe. And sometimes I still have to check myself. I'm like, okay, you know what? You got to let go of that problem or whatever it is that you're obsessing about and just be here right now because it's beautiful. You're in the water. There's dolphins. There's friends. There's waves. It's just a lot easier to do that when you're actually in nature, in the ocean, than it is to do when you're sitting in an office, let's say. So yeah, an additional benefit is that it's also healthy. It's exercise. So as we all know, exercise releases endorphins. Surfing happens to release adrenaline. So those are all those positive factors of it. One, gets us reconnected with nature. Two, it's like a meditation that clears our head. Three, it's an exercise. It makes us feel good, makes our bodies strong, releases endorphins and adrenaline. Four, for me, it's also a social thing. I get to hang out with my friends. I get to meet new friends. Five, for me, it's a form of self-expression as well. When you're out there surfing, you can literally express yourself on a wave. You move your body. It's like a dance. So I think there's just so many wonderful aspects of surfing. But like I said, it doesn't have to be surfing. For a lot of people, it's hiking, it's biking, it's salsa dancing. It's anything that gets you moving and gets you out in the world. Like I said, surfing for me has a lot of those, all of those other added benefits. The huge things for me is being out in nature and the meditative aspect of it. So please add your thoughts on what it is that gets you reconnected to your deeper self, reconnected with nature perhaps. What is a meditation for you? What is an escape for you? Something therapeutic that heals you from your problems, or at least provides a temporary relief. Let me know. Add to the conversation. What do you think about surfing? Have you tried it? Does it do the same thing for you? Do you think I'm full of shit? I don't know. Comment, add to the conversation, and talk soon. Bye.